In this video, we're going to create the segment where the lander comes in, takes the can out of the crate, and flies off again. First thing we'll do is go ahead and put a skeleton on the arm so we can articulate it to pick up the can. Holding down my space bar, I'm going to go to skeleton, and I'll choose create joints. And the way the skeleton works is that once I initiate a bone, every other one after that is parented to the bone that preceded it. So what I have here now is if I select all these bones, they're controlled by that main bone when I select it. If I wanted to edit any of the others, I would click on the joint and hit T on the keyboard, and then I can adjust the ones that are in connection with that one. If I click this one, hit T, now I can go ahead and I can move this separately. And then I could also move the one that will be the wrist. I'll delete this and start over again. Holding down my space bar, once again I'll go to skeleton, create joints. I'll click and start the first joint down where the feet are, and then I'm going to put one where the shoulder would kind of be, and then the elbow, and then the hand. I hit W on the keyboard to gather all the bones in. I'll go to my perspective view now, and I'm going to line it up so that the bones are in the arm. Next, we'll put the IK kinematics on the arm, but we first have to go to Show, Viewport, and we have to make sure that Locators is unchecked. I would have to do that if I did it in another window as well. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go to Skeletons and create IK kinematics. And you always click on the shoulder and then click on the hand. And you're going to see the IK kinematics. And what this means now, if I were to click and drag the hand joint, the rest of the joints follow. Next, we want to parent the geometry to each of the bones that are around it. I'll select the model, shift select the bone, hit P to parent. I'll do the same with this one, selecting the geometry first, and then shift selecting the skeleton and hitting P to parent. Now, if I were to grab that little brown line that we see here and move it up and down or out, you can see it articulates. If for any reason the arm isn't straight when you move it, you can hit T on the keyboard, and with your move tool, you can see now that there are arrows on that white triangle, and that allows me to tip it and straighten it out if it weren't straight to begin with. I hit W on the keyboard. Next, we need to do a lot of parenting. I'll go to my orthographic view, and I'll start by selecting the model that has been grouped. I'll hit the up arrow to get it all, and then I'll shift select the main bone at the bottom and hit P to parent. I'll select the propeller because it's got an animation component. Shift select the bone, and again I'll hit P to parent. The last one I have to parent is the IK kinematics hand. So I'll select the IK on the hand, shift select the bone, and hit P to parent. So what this translates into, if I was to animate now, you can see that the propeller will follow wherever the rest of the little lander goes. And the arm, when it articulates, it will stay in the vicinity of the model. One last thing I will do is put in a NURB circle to make it easier to control this. Going to my top view, I'll hold down my space bar, go to create NURBS, and I'll grab a circle, and I'll drag a circle that will pretty much go out past the landing feet. Going to my perspective view, I'll move the circle so that it's at the bottom of the feet of the lander, and then I'll select the bone at the bottom and shift select the circle and hit P to parent. So if I was to go to my perspective now, essentially, I can grab that ring and then the rest of the model will follow it. It just makes it easier instead of just grabbing that bone, which can be hidden sometimes depending on the view.